All right, today I'm going to be showing you how to connect accessories and lighting to your 2025 plus GX550 Overtrail. Lexus unfortunately didn't provide any wired plugs with their model, so you have to go and do some extra work yourself. We have this Toyota part number here, and then this is going to have some pre-installed wiring that we're then going to remove and then reconnect to the GX550 plugs. All right, so behind each headlight here is the connector for AUX 1 and 2. This is on the driver's side. And then over here on the passenger side, we have the connector for AUX 3 and 4. So behind the driver's side light, we have this connector cap here that we want to get off. What we're going to do first though is remove this white clip back here, and that's going to kind of loosen this up and make it easier to pull that cap off. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Once you have it unclipped, you just have to pinch the clasp to unhook the front from the plug. So the passenger side's a little trickier. You can only use one hand to get to it, really. You're gonna have to squeeze this top guide down and then use another finger to kind of pull it out right there. It's a little tough to get out. So here we have the driver's side connector and the passenger side connector. And then this is our new one that we just got from Toyota. So since these two guys are the same, we're just gonna get rid of this one. We don't need it anymore. So these two right ones we're gonna take out from this guy are gonna go into the 3 and 4 slots on these. Now we're going to gently remove the tape on either end and the casing will slide right off. This will give us access to the auxiliary cables so we can ultimately switch 2 of them over to the passenger side plug. So on this plug from Toyota, AUX 1 is going to be blue, AUX 2 is red, AUX 3 is dark gray, and AUX 4 is white. So we're looking at upside down here, and then we're going to be removing gray and white from this connector. So we're going to take our little pick and we're going to shove it between the metal piece here and the plastic piece down here. There. Push it up. And then we're going to pull the cord out from behind. There we go. And there's our connector. And then once those are removed, you can go ahead and place this white cover back on. Make sure it snaps into place securely. And then, let's see, we're gonna take out a couple plugs right here from the old one. And we're just gonna push those back into the new one to prevent any water or debris from getting in there. Here we go. We'll go ahead and pop those in the back here. There we go. And then now we're on our male connector for the passenger side, and we need to take out these 2 plugs that are on 3 and 4. So we're gonna pop those out. Like so. So now we have 2 empty ones here. We need to take this white part out again, so we're gonna go ahead and put this little pin into one of these corners, kind of pull out, like so. Just release that, like that. This is AUX 3, it's gonna go in this top one here. We wanna make sure that the opening on that clip right there is pointing upwards, the same direction as the top of this little hat right here. So we're gonna go ahead, put it in like so. There we go, hear that little click. And then we're gonna take our smaller one, same thing. We have a little opening on the top. We wanna make sure it's pointing upwards. And we'll slide that in the bottom here. Hear that little click. And then we can go ahead and snap this white piece back in, like that. So for our GX550, we're gonna be using a Baja Designs S2 light. This is the wiring harness that comes included with those. What we're gonna do is locate the two connectors here, and then we're basically just gonna stretch all that out. All these pieces are for if you don't have an auxiliary switch built in, but luckily the GX550 Overtrail does. So what we're gonna do is just chop it right up here, like so, and we can get rid of all these guys, and we're just left with all of this wiring here. So depending on what accessory you have, you might need some of these other wires, but for the S2s, they draw a pretty low amperage, so we're just gonna be using this 10 amp one, which connects to AUX 4, and we're gonna be connecting that to the positive leads on our wiring harness provided by Baja Designs. If you choose to DIY the wiring, there will be a bit of soldering and cutting on both the bundles that Baja provides. We made this diagram to show what we're trying to go for. The 4 positive wires are feeding to AUX 4, which is that 10 amp white wire on the passenger plug, and the 4 negative connections are linked to a ground ring. For each of those soldering joints, you can use a piece of heat shrink tubing to cover the connection. This is our 2-to-1 split here that we made for our connectors, just a little DIY job, but Baja Designs also sells a connector that you can purchase if you'd like to use that instead. All right, so this is all our wiring here. This is our custom little wiring harness that we built. These go to the 4 Baja Designs S2s that are gonna mount in our bumper. And then here we have a little bolt hole for our ground. And then right here is our passenger side plug that connects to AUX 4, the white cable back here. This is the driver's side plug that we're gonna plug in where this used to be. We're not gonna use this guy anymore because he doesn't have any wires. These will be available for the owner if they wanna use any other future accessories. They can use these 2 wires here for that. During this specific installation, we were installing a pair of the S2 Pros on a 2025 GX550 Overtrail. But keep in mind that wire routing will vary based on what kinds of accessories you are installing and where you are installing them. We've gone ahead and hooked up our lights to those green connectors, and now we are working on reattaching those plugs right where we first pulled them out, male on the passenger side and female on the driver's side. Additionally, if you have excess slack, you can always use a zip tie to secure part of the wire to the engine bay. All right, so this is the connector plugged back in on the driver's side. We have 2 wires just kind of sticking out there that we're not going to use, but are there in case the owner would like to hook up accessories in the future. And then over on the passenger side, we have the ground connected here to this bolt right here that we just took out, put our little connector in, and then put the bolt back in. And then we have it plugged into the connector down in there, if you can see that. And then those wires come down out here, and then we have 2 of them coming down to these 2 lights that are mounted in our bumper. And then we have the other 2 coming across all the way over under the crash, or above the crash bar, down into the opposite hand lights in our bumper. All right, that's all for the wiring on this GX for us. This guy's ready to mount all sorts of different accessories now, including these 4 Baja Designs S2s. You're all done now for this part of the installation if you're installing our front bumper. So return back to that video if that's what you're working on right now.